Dr. King Schultz, Christoph Waltz. Can you talk about reuniting with Quentin on this movie, and was there any hesitation on either of your parts about working together again so soon after this very iconic character in Inglourious Basterds?
Neither. There was no reunification, and there was no working again. That was just another mushroom of the fungus that was growing subcutaneously in me all the time.
Process that.
I gotta say, it's. I had this same problem. I had this same problem with Sam for about a decade. It's hard not to write for these guys. They say my dialogue so well that it's like for 10 years I'd write some cool Bill for like 7 months of the year and a half of writing Kill Bill. Bill sounded just like Sam. It's hard. It's like they say my dialogue so well, and just aren't. Just the way I write my dialogue, which I always kind of fancy it as poetry, and they're the ones that make it poetry when they say it. It's just hard. It's just they come out of my pen, and sometimes it's not even appropriate. Sometimes that's not right. But it's just. I have to, I can't shut it off. When I've been wanting to do this story for a long time, there never was some German dentist bounty hunter in the story. All right, but the next thing I know, I sat down and wrote that opening scene, and he just flew right out of the pen like an antenna to God. Boom.
And can you talk, Christoph, about the physical training for the role? Because I know you injured yourself pretty severely at one point.
I worked very hard and succeeded gloriously in falling off a horse very quickly. And then very early on in the training, and then my work was a little slower for a few months, and then I got back up on the horse.
Don, I want to ask you, your performance is very exuberant in the film, which is something I think we think of with Quentin's actors, that they seem to be having a lot of fun on screen. What is it about working with Quentin that brings this out of performers?
Well, as Quentin told me, he said, "You sing in my key." Remember that? And I looked at that. I looked at Big Daddy Bennett as a character who had his fiefdom, and he was fully engaged in his fiefdom. He enjoyed his fiefdom, and as everybody has mentioned, this was going to go on forever until these two showed up, and and then they messed up everything, so they got to go, But
You tell him, Big Daddy.
yeah, that's right. And yeah, Bettina. It was a joy to work with. We have sort of I think everybody does a second hand. It's a look. It's there's almost no dialogue question. I'll finish a take or something, and I'll turn around and I'll look at him, and he'll give me some sort of hand signal. It looks like one of those Navy signalmen or something like that, and I know exactly what he means. I don't know how I know it. But then we do it again. I go, yeah, that was right. That was, yeah. Bring that aircraft in on the other carrier, So it was fun.
It was kind of wonderful because I remember the first day I got there, I went looking for Quentin, and the day I got there, the slaves were in the field. You guys were coming up on the plantation for the first time. Jamie had his little Lord Fauntleroy suit on, and I was walking down that road through the cotton field, and I didn't realize till I got in the middle of the cotton field that all these extras were out there in their slave gear, and it was cotton, and they were picking it, and there were white dudes on horses with shotguns. And then I looked back, and Don was up on the porch of the big house and all this stuff. I was like, oh, shit. we're doing this. You know? It was almost like a Twilight Zone episode or something. It was crazy.
Tomorrow, all of a sudden you
Yeah.
find yourself, how
Yeah.
did I get here?
And I walked up there, and he had an ice cold drink in his hand, and I was like, "Damn, this is happening. It was so awesome." But everything started to help us do this movie.
Yeah, we were shooting on an actual slave plantation called Evergreen Plantation in Louisiana, and so that lent itself to all of us kind of disappearing into the story because you felt like you were making the film on sacred ground. You felt like you were reenacting this behavior where these crimes against humanity were actually committed, and so it started to infiltrate everybody's acting and behavior and choices and relationships.